Madam Chairman, I do. I thank you. Look forward to serving on this committee with you and our ranking member. Not to repeat, but I will repeat Senator Collins' point that we're operating during a time where the game has changed. Instead of coming here every year on the Appropriations Committee and saying, how much more are we going to spend this year? We're faced with a fiscal crisis, which requires us to say, how can we take better care of the taxpayer dollars that are being sent here? How can we better manage our departments? How can we better be more efficient with perhaps less to spend or not as much as to spend as we would like? How can we separate the essential from the, well, we'd like to do this but can't afford it right now, from the, why are we doing that in the first place? Or maybe that had a sufficient function going forward at one time, but we just can't justify that program. All of this to address the fiscal issue in one of two ways. One, how can we save money and turn it back and reduce our debt and deficit? Secondly, how can we better transfer this money to essential programs instead of wasting it on programs that don't seem to work very well? Let me just mention a couple of things. Mr. Secretary, I'm not sure my time will allow me to be here to ask this direct question, but I'll just put it out there and you can address it in a general way. In 2012, the Government Accountability Office, GAO, found that the federal government is operating 160 separate housing assistance programs and tax expenditures within 20 departments and agencies costing about $170 billion. Is there room here to eliminate some of this duplication or to consolidate some of this so that we don't have to have each separate entity here staffed all the way down through the administrative positions and so forth? Is there room for this type of consolidation and coordination? Every business in America has had to do this since 2008 collapse. And, you know, when we mention sequester, they say 5%, 7%. I mean, we've had to do 15%. We've had to do 18%. But we're a much more leaner, more efficient organization now. We see that everywhere in the private sector, but we don't see that at the federal government. HUD provided a community development block grant in the amount of $505,000 to a private entity, Sargent's Pet Care Products, which specializes in pet shampoo and toothpaste. Now, you know, maybe there's justification for this small business. I don't know. But it's a private company. They're expected to bring in revenue of $140 million in 2012. Why are we giving CBDG grants to private companies who are earning revenues of over $100 million? And lastly, according to the HUD's own Inspector General, 2012 for fiscal year, it says he said HUD could have put over $3.2 billion to better use and has paid over $1.3 billion in questionable costs. So that's $4.5 billion in public funds that perhaps could be shifted to provide better housing or more effective housing, or not spent at all. So just in a general way, Mr. Secretary, address the broader question. You don't have to provide it here exactly, the details of this particular loan or that, or justify this or that. The larger question of what is HUD doing, what are you doing to try to make your department more efficient, more effective, given the scarcity of funds that we have and the fact that, you know, we need to be more careful with the taxpayer dollars. So when you have a chance to address that, I would appreciate it. And Madam Chairman, thank you.